Hello everyone, welcome to Blanche Keep It Whole. I hope you guys are doing wonderful. As you guys can see, the title of this video is about Kobe Bryant parents that were completely not acknowledged during his memorial at the Staples Center in Los Angeles. And before I even give my thought on that, let me share a story with you, or I can say an advice, or yeah. A couple of years ago, my uncle, we were having a conversation, and out of the blue, he asked me this question. He said, my daughter, between you and your children, between your husband and children, who come first? And as most women out there, what did I say? My answer was, my children. And he said, bad answer. I said, come on, uncle, what do you mean by bad answer? He said, you're wrong. I said, no, I can't be wrong. My children are supposed to come first. And I tried to argue with him. He said, no. He said, okay, before I even tell you why, please call my wife and ask her. And I called his wife and I pretend to have a conversation with a couple of my girlfriend. And I said, hey, guess what? I'm having a discussion here with my girlfriend, and some of us believe that children should come first, and other few believe that husband should come, or spouse should come first. And she said, oh. I said, what do you think? Without any hesitation, she immediately said, my husband come first. I said, what? She said, yeah, my husband come first. I thought she was kidding. And she said, no, I'm really serious. You know, for the couple of times that you've been with us, you can see, you know, my husband come first because when I met my husband, I didn't have any children. He, the love that we share that brought these children to the world. Then how come they're going to come first? They come after him. And I said, okay, he hit me there. But still, I was not convinced, because in my mind, like many other women, and probably you guys that are listening to me now, just believe the way I was believing by then. And my uncle said, you know, so many families have that issue today because the family, they sometimes don't have that foundation of love with both parents before transfer that love to the children. He said, when you go to bed at night, who do you sleep with? I say, with your wife or your spouse. He said, yes, that was in purpose. Why don't you sleep with your children and put your spouse in another home? You sleep with the person that you're supposed to be with. Your children sleep in another home that you guys care or check on them. But you share until you grow old, until death do us apart, is with your children. He said, I never see a parent with their children go swear and say, until death do us apart. He said, no, always with the woman, with your wife or your spouse. Why? Because that's the bondage that is supposed to start with your family. Now, when he said that, to be honest, it was clicking in my mind, but still, I was like, okay, let me see. After that, every time that I was meeting or have a conversation with a friend of mine, I always brought the topic up and asked the question, what do you really think about have a spouse coming first or children first? Most of the time, to be honest, they will say my children. And I was trying to explain to them when my uncle said, some say, you know, hell no, are you kidding me? Men are not trustworthy and stuff like that. You know what women say about when it comes to men. And few say, you know what, Blanche, it makes sense, because if you even want to think about the Bible or stuff like that, for those who are Christian, they say that you're going to leave your father and your mother and become one and stuff like that. But basically, my uncle tried to make me understand that if I want to have a beautiful home, a happy home, I have to always make sure that my husband comes first, and he has to make sure I come first, so that that love and that respect, that consideration that we have for each other are going to eventually, you know, deviate to the children. Then I said, okay. Then I start thinking about it, and a couple of times after that, I start seeing that my uncle was so right, because I remember a friend of mine, we were going to South Carolina, and in the car I asked her the same question. I said, hey Michelle, between your children and your husband, who come first? Exactly, she said my children. And she was actually even fighting with me on the car. Blanche, are you kidding? You crazy? How can you even think about it? Where am I going with my husband? My children always come first. I said, okay, I let it go. Couple of years after that, I have a party in my house, and I invite the whole family. I say, okay, come to my house, and all the children, I don't want to mention their name now. I don't know if they're gonna like it, but anyway, they came. The husband and the wife came, and I didn't see the children. And I asked at the beginning of the party, where are they? They say, okay, Blanche, don't worry, let us just enjoy ourselves. After the party, I was, walking them through their car, and I say again, come on, why are they kid? Are you kidding me? Why these two girls just ignore my invitation just like that? And Michelle, oh, and she told me, guess what? These children, you remember when you talked to me about a couple of years ago and I was arguing that, oh, children come first. These children don't even allow me to call them anymore. Either when I call them, they're so busy. Oh, mommy, it's not time to talk to you now. I'm going to call you tomorrow, and they never come. It's just about their life now. It's not even about us. They don't even include us in anything they're doing. You can feel that. And she said, thank God, Nana, I still have my husband. Thank God that I'm still with him. He's my only one now. I would say, wow. And I remember the advice that my uncle said. I said, this is so powerful. I'm saying this story because when I saw Kobe Bryant parents with each other, and I believe whatever the situation was going on, that maybe they weren't in good terms anymore, but I'm sure they probably are in pain. They're heartbroken. They lost their son. And even when you fight with your child, you don't expect them to die, or you don't wish them dead. For most, I know there's some bad parents and there's some bad children. We have to say it, to be honest, there's some. But when it comes to those who are really bad, you can put them aside. But I don't believe that they were to that extent, because I remember one time Kobe Bryant had an interview and he was explaining that he was not too happy about his parents because they want to sell his stuff and without his knowledge, and he was hurt about that. I know that there probably many more other things that were behind closed door that we don't know about, but most family today have problems. Miscommunication, misunderstanding, so many issues that make that people are fighting today. But still, for me, I believe that they were supposed to have a moment too. We were supposed to give them that little consideration, because beside the fact that nobody else talk about them, but Vanessa was at least supposed to mention Kobe Bryant parent, even for 10 seconds. Why? Because it's because of this parent that Kobe Bryant was brought to this world. Kobe Bryant didn't fall out of the sky, no. Nobody fell. You always come from somewhere. Even when those people that maybe brought you to this world are not as good parents as you wish they were, you still have to acknowledge them. Because why the universe brought you to this world through those people? Why? Then you have to acknowledge them. The fact that she didn't say nothing about it really broke my heart. And the fact that even the people that did the organization about the memorial of Kobe Bryant didn't even give either his sister, his mother, or even his father a couple of minutes to come and talk about Kobe Bryant. It was heartbroken for me. For me, I was expecting for his father to not talk about, because most people talk about his basketball career, how good husband he was, how good friend he was, how good father he was, and the thing that he was doing for other people. But nobody besides his parents knew from the day he was born to when he really had the love of the game, when he became inspired, when he decided, when the parents saw that he has the talent for being basketball. They could have deviated them. They could have made him not play basketball. I remember, not all parents can see that talent through their children and push them or even guide them through that. Me, for example, I was somebody that was so much athletic. I was running like you can't even imagine. I was playing, and I remember one time my coach came and told my father that he needed to put me in the high school team. And my father was, "Are you kidding me?" But my father did that then by ignorance. He didn't know that sport can pay, because for him it was just about education. She has to go to school, she has to get the education so that she can be somebody tomorrow. Later on, he regret that. Why? Oh, you see, now people make money out of this thing. But to have a father that at the beginning guide you for you to become what you have become. I know that when we grow up, we have different way of thinking. Even your children that you bring to this world, you give birth to, they think differently, they act differently, and you just sometimes have to accept or compromise. But if it doesn't happen, that doesn't mean that they are the worst parent or they don't deserve to be around. I really felt so bad, the fact that they were sitting at that Staples Center like persona non grata. That was not fair for them or either for Kobe Bryant himself. Because whatever we like it or not, that's his father, that's his mother, and that's his sister. These are the people that he grew up with first before he even knew all the people that talk about him at the Staples Centers. Then that's why I talked about this story before at the beginning of the video, because I want to tell you that I want to see their parents together. I'm thinking, oh, imagine that if they were not together, or the fact that my uncle was saying that you guys are supposed to love each other, and I believe that they still love each other. They were there for one another. At least they can look at themselves and cry and mourn their own son together. And he showed us that, to be honest, you have to actually even love your spouse more than you love your children. Because when their children grow up and they find their own family, some of them don't care that much more anymore, and they choose their family overall, which is not a bad situation, but the way things go sometimes is not so right. That, for example, what we have seen with what happened at the Staples Center, it was so sad. Then for you guys that are listening, I have a question for you. The first one is, do you think that it was okay not to acknowledge Kobe Bryant family at all? And the second question is like, what do you think about children coming first or spouse coming first? Give your thought and explain why you're giving that thought. With that being said, thank you so much again for taking the time to watch this video, and please share with your friend, your family, and subscribe if you haven't done so yet, and click the notification button as well, so that whenever I have a video out there, you're going to be the first to be notified. Thank you so much again for taking the time to watch. Blanche, keep it whole. Until then, see you next time. Bye.